Ontarians are here. And we need that support. We need to come together. And we need somebody who's going to lead us to ensure that we are coming together, that we are putting aside our partisan differences, that we are building as a community, regardless of what the color of our skin is, who we pray to, who we love. Coming together for the future of what Ontario means is what this next provincial election is all about. And we have to ensure that we have the effective representation for a community like Mississauga Erin Mills, where there's 43 different languages that are spoken, to be able to have that effective representation. And I know that Mr. Dar is that person. I don't know what else I can say to endorse this man, but I know that I believe in him.
Very good, very good.
I'll take a moment also to recognize all of you that are here in this room. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Everybody is here because they have some connection to Dar Sahib, some crazy story about Dar Sahib as well, and just a lot of love and respect for what this man brings to the table. I'll also thank Mufti Saab for his amazing work in our community, and so many of you who put your partisan politics aside, who put your individual grievances aside and say, you know what, kuch karna hai. We have to do something for our community collectively, and we are going to do it. And for that, I really thank you, each and every one of you, for everything that you do, that you will continue to do. And I know that we can all count on each other to make sure that we organize, that we collectively take accountability and responsibility for a stronger Ontario and a stronger Canada. And we'll start by electing a responsible leader within our riding of Mississauga Erin Mills. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Mr. Qasir Dar. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Azam.
Sat Shri Akal, Namaste, Adab to each and every one of you. You'll excuse me, my voice is a bit rusty today. I know that there is a massive cold that is going around within all of our communities, and I just want to excuse myself first and foremost, to make sure that that if I cough or if I need to take a sip of water, I will do that. And I'm not contagious, in case any of you are wondering at this point. I think the worst of it is over. I'm here today because I believe in Qasir Dar. I met Mr. Dar 10 years ago during my own nomination in Mississauga Erin Mills. And one thing he said to me, I think it was our first meeting, I did not know who he was. We ended up sitting together beside each other. And he said to me, he said, we need people that can speak up. It doesn't matter what party you belong to. What matters is how strong is your voice and how strong is your courage. And over the past 10 years, I have had the privilege and the honor of working with Dar Sahib. Not just in campaigning, because ultimately, he held me to account, and he followed up. And he coached, he mentored. I was also a very young person at that time, and he had a lot of experience, not just, and again, like I say, this is not about politics, this is about community building. And as he progressed, and as I progressed in our individual paths, in our collective paths for Mississauga Erin Mills, he became the organization chair for the Liberal Party of Canada in Ontario. And Organization is Dar Saab's strong suit. He knows काम कितना करना है. And I really appreciate it, and I learned from it. I learned so much from it. As the years progressed, he became the president of the Liberal Party of Canada in Ontario, and now sits on the national board federally to not only talk about how a political party can be strong in organization, in leadership, in mentorship, in listening to the people that we represent, but also in how to build. And I watched as the past, the OLP, the Ontario Liberal elections happened, the provincial elections. Dar Saab went on to be the chair to figure out what went wrong in that last election. He traveled from corner to corner to corner of all of our province. He went to over 100 different ridings to listen to people, to listen to what it is exactly that we need to build and strengthen our communities. And he put out a report that was quite harsh to the party. And that's exactly why I support this man, is because he's able to say the difficult words. He's able to listen to what people have to say, and then to be able to action it out. To say, these are the next steps that need to happen. And for that, I am so grateful. I know that I have learned and I have been mentored by Dar Saab for the past 10 years. And I know that each and every one of you here in this room have benefited in some way of his sincerity, his organization skills, his leadership, and his ability to care on a genuine person-to-person level. You know, at the federal level, I know things are not good, and I'll address the elephant in the room right now as it is, and that's okay. There is a difference between what is federal politics and what the federal responsibilities are and what the provincial responsibilities are. So when we hear a lot of rhetoric around crime, around bail, around housing, around education, our Constitution, Section 52 of our Constitution, differentiates what are federal powers and what are provincial powers. And Canada, as a federation, respects and acknowledges the great things that our Constitution does for us. When we talk about crime at the federal level, we have had the opportunity, and we have made some very, very significant bail reforms. But ultimately, it is the province that needs to administer the law. What is happening right now is that Doug Ford refuses to invest in our criminal justice system. Our police forces don't have enough resources. Our jails, prisons are at full capacity, and judges have no choice but to let people out because of the failures of this provincial government. Our education system needs more investment because our kids are our future. Our healthcare. I mean, my dad just went through a significant life transitioning surgery. He went through a quadruple bypass, and the healthcare was amazing, except the wait times. How many people have access to a family doctor? These are all things that we need to think about and put the responsibility and the accountability to where it belongs. And these are issues that belong in the province of Ontario. And unfortunately, Doug Ford has failed the people of Ontario. What we need to do as collective citizenry is to come together and elect people that genuinely understand the issues, the challenges, and have a plan on how to resolve them. And I genuinely believe that Mr. Dar is one of those people who is going to make sure that Credit Valley Hospital, which is here in Mississauga Erin Mills, is running efficiently, is running effectively, that every single person in Mississauga Erin Mills has access to healthcare, that every single child in Mississauga Erin Mills has access to quality education, and that as diverse of a community as we are in Mississauga Erin Mills, that we're able to live together in peace, to come together and work together for the issues that matter most to each and every one of us. There is no room for divisiveness in Mississauga Erin Mills, and I know for a fact that Qasir Dar is going to be the man who is going to ensure that Mississauga Erin Mills at the provincial level has the representation that it needs. Politics, political parties come and go.
Over 15 years, maybe 2 decades I can say. And during that time I've seen firsthand the depth of his character and the strength of his leadership. From the early days, as his involvement in Liberal elections, many election campaigns, to his role as the President of the Liberal Party of Ontario, and now as the recently coordinator for stakeholders at the Global Affairs Canada with Minister Melanie Joly. Brother Dar has always stood out for his humility and sincerity. What truly sets him apart is his ability to listen, to genuinely seek advice, take it seriously, and then, above all, which is the most important thing, that you often talk to your representatives, they give you a very good ear and just that ear, no actions. So that is something which I admire that. He follows up with updates on the issues that we discussed. And that level of dedication is rare and speaks volumes about his commitment to the community. Over the years, I've seen him excel in every role he's taken on, whether as the principal of a prestigious college in Lahore, Pakistan, which I'm not witness to, but I heard a lot of good stories. Or as manager at a big box retail store here in Mississauga or Toronto, I can say, and lately the president of the LPCO. Through it all, he has remained grounded, approachable, and deeply connected to people he serves. As Brother Dar takes the next step in his career, in his life, as the candidate for the Ontario Liberal Party, I wish him all the best. Give a big applause to welcome his success, on which we gather is part of the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. This land is steeped in rich indigenous history and has been the traditional territory of many nations over the centuries, including Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Huron-Wendat people. Today it is home to many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We are grateful to share this land and recognize our responsibility to honor and respect the enduring relationship that Indigenous people have with us. As settlers, immigrants, and residents, we commit to fostering understanding, respect, and reconciliation while working toward a shared future of peace and prosperity for all. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, As-salatu wa salam ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Assalamu alaikum, and peace be with you. Good afternoon, Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Adab to everyone. It's my pleasure to be your MC today, and it's a great occasion. We will talk about it later before I do the land acknowledgement. These have been traditions. So before I even do that, I would like to begin the land acknowledgement. I will take a moment to share our personal experience and that underscores why we do this kind of acknowledgement. As Canadians, we have come to recognize the devastating impact of the colonization on our Indigenous brothers and sisters, an impact that includes the infamous residential schools and the denial of basic necessities of life like medicine, food, and shelter. I personally spent an entire day on the Six Nation Reserve.